Everything will change in one moment. That moment may feel far away, like it's still hiding beyond the horizon, waiting for the perfect alignment. But that moment is not just a distant possibility. It's a certainty that is already preparing to unfold in your life. There's a shift coming, not because you forced it, but because the timing is finally right. It may come when you least expect it. You might be in the middle of your daily routine, moving through the motions, and suddenly something clicks. Something moves. A call comes. A message appears. An opportunity opens. And in that single instant, everything you thought was stuck, everything you thought was lost, starts flowing again. And before we dive deep into the powerful message of this transformation, I want to invite you to watch this video until the end. Stay present with every word and every energy embedded in this message. And when you're ready, I encourage you to write in the comments your warmest wishes and the number 77. This is more than a ritual. This is about activating the power within you, aligning with the energy of manifestation, and becoming a conscious participant in the miracle that's preparing to meet you. Wishes come true when energy moves through intention, and the universe listens when your soul speaks clearly. There is a reason why certain things had to be delayed. There is a purpose in the pauses, in the waiting, and in the quiet in between. Often, the universe rearranges things, not to deny you, but to deliver you something greater than what you originally asked for. You're not being punished by the waiting. You're being protected and positioned. Sometimes you think you're being rejected, but you're actually being redirected. It's not a setback, it's a divine detour. You've been stretched, tested, and pulled in ways you didn't expect. But every single one of those challenges was preparing you for the moment that is now coming. All of the pain, confusion, and even the silence you endured, it was never wasted. Each one carried seeds of wisdom, depth, and strength that you can now carry into the next season of your life. The reason everything can change in one moment is because you've already changed on the inside. You've grown in ways others can't see. You've healed wounds that you never thought you would. And the universe is responding to that shift in you. Change does not always arrive with fireworks or loud announcements. Sometimes it arrives in the gentlest whisper, the smallest sign, or the most unexpected interaction. A passing moment, a random encounter, a sudden nudge from within. These can be the gateways to everything you've prayed for. You may not see the whole staircase, but one step will appear. And when you take it, more will unfold. That is the mystery and the beauty of divine timing. That's how life works when you're aligned with something greater than logic. When your soul is in sync with its higher purpose, you might feel like you're on the edge of something, as if a new chapter is pressing against the old one, ready to break through. That pressure you feel is not something going wrong. It's the signal that something is being born. You are on the verge of a moment that will remind you why it never worked out with anyone else, why the doors closed, why you had to walk away, and why the path seemed so unclear. It all makes sense in hindsight, but right now, you are at the brink of clarity. You are nearing the moment when the waiting turns into witnessing. And it's powerful to realize that a single second can hold the weight of transformation. One message can bring closure. One idea can birth a business. One conversation can open a new life. One decision can heal your heart. One realization can free your soul. And the moment you choose to stay open, present, and aligned with what's unfolding rather than forcing what's fading, that's the moment where miracles begin. Everything doesn't have to change slowly. It can happen suddenly. And when it does, it often feels as if it was always meant to happen that way. Sometimes you feel like you've been stuck for too long, like nothing is moving, but energy is always moving, even if you can't see it. Just like water beneath the surface prepares to break through a dam, your blessings are building pressure behind the scenes. They are being gathered, prepared, and synchronized perfectly. And when the release happens, you won't be able to stop it. Everything will rush in with a force that will leave you in awe. What once felt delayed will now feel destined. What once felt like loss will now feel like alignment. NTHE, most unexpected moments often carry the most life-altering impact. You might think you're just waking up to another ordinary day, but that could be the day the phone rings, the door opens, the heart speaks, the mind shifts, or the breakthrough arrives. There is no warning sometimes. There's no announcement, just presence. That's why staying awake, grounded, and receptive is so important. Life rewards the ones who are open, who trust even when they don't fully understand, who keep showing up even when there's no proof yet. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be for this transformation to take place. Your timeline does not have to match the expectations of others. The journey you're on is uniquely crafted for you. The moments you're waiting for are not lost. They're lining up. All you need is one aligned moment, one open door, one divine yes. And when it happens, you will feel it in your bones that this was the shift your soul had been preparing for all along. This isn't about rushing, it's about trusting. Trusting that when you release the need to control everything, life has space to surprise you. Trusting that your energy is drawing the right people, the right places, and the right opportunities toward you. Trusting that your intuition is guiding you home. When you are in that frequency of belief, you don't have to chase, you attract. You don't have to beg, you align. You don't have to force, you flow. And that's when change doesn't just visit you, it transforms you. You've come too far to turn back now. Everything within you is being drawn forward, pulled towards something that your mind may not fully comprehend, but your spirit already recognizes. You might not be able to explain it, but there's a knowing deep inside that change is already in motion. It's subtle, like the first breeze before the storm, or the way the sky begins to shift before the sun rises. And yet, that subtle shift means everything. That's how massive transformations often begin, with small, nearly invisible cues. But to the awakened heart, those cues speak louder than words. You might feel tired. You might feel stretched beyond what you thought you could bear. But exhaustion is not a sign of defeat. It's a signal that you've been climbing, building, healing, and evolving. Every inner tear, every unspoken battle, every quiet moment of courage has not gone unnoticed. The universe has been watching your efforts, not just in what you've been doing, but in who you've been becoming, and what's coming to meet you is a response to that growth. You're not just waiting for a miracle, you've been preparing for it without even realizing. People often assume transformation is dramatic, but most life-changing moments come in the calmest forms. A peaceful clarity that washes over you like a wave. A quiet release that frees you from a long-held pain. A sudden peace in your chest that says, "This is the way." These are the sacred moments where everything changes. Not because the world around you explodes, but because something within you shifts so deeply that your entire path realigns. And when that inner alignment happens, the outer world follows like a mirror. You are not meant to struggle endlessly. You are meant to awaken. And every difficulty you've endured has been an invitation to rise, to deepen, to reconnect with your truth. You weren't born to be stuck in survival mode forever. That mode taught you resilience. It built your strength. But now you're transitioning from survival into thriving. You're learning to receive instead of resist. You're learning to trust instead of question every step. And that's when the breakthroughs start to pour in. When the energy around you realizes you're finally open to what's already been yours. Sometimes you'll be surrounded by silence. No answers, no signs, just a void that feels endless. But don't fear that silence. That is the moment before the orchestra begins. That is the hush before the curtain rises. That is the stillness that precedes greatness. If you can hold steady in that silence, if you can stay centered, rooted, and trusting, then the very next moment might hold the answer you've been seeking for years. The key is not to fill the silence with panic, it's to hold it with presence. There is a version of you that exists beyond your current reality. A version that already knows how this next chapter unfolds. That version of you is already thriving, already in alignment, already walking in purpose. And every step you take now, every small act of faith, is drawing you closer to that reality. The distance between your current life and that dream life is not measured in time, it's measured in alignment. The moment you vibrate at the frequency of that future self, the bridge between now and then begins to collapse. You're not chasing a dream, you're becoming it. Let go of the belief that big changes require big effort. Sometimes all that's needed is a shift in perception, a new way of seeing things, a surrender that allows divine orchestration to unfold. When you stop resisting, when you release your grip on how you think things should be, life has room to deliver what you never imagined possible. It's in those moments of surrender that the most magical realignments take place. You move out of resistance and into resonance. And from that place, your entire life can change without warning. NNOT, every storm comes to destroy. Some come to clear the path. And not every delay is a denial. Some delays are divine pauses, giving you time to recalibrate and refocus. If you feel like you've been circling the same mountain over and over again, ask yourself, what am I still carrying that I was supposed to release? What beliefs am I holding that no longer serve the version of me I'm becoming? These questions will lead you to the moment of release, and in that moment, the momentum you've been craving will begin. Your intuition is your compass right now, not your logic, not your timeline. Your soul already knows the way. Listen to that soft inner voice that whispers when the world is loud. It will never lead you astray. The outside world may pressure you to act quickly, to rush your process, to force something to happen. But your soul is not in a hurry. It's moving with sacred intention. And when your inner timing aligns with divine timing, the world around you adjusts like a perfectly choreographed dance. You don't have to wait for someone else to validate your readiness. You are already enough. You are already worthy. You are already prepared for what's about to unfold. This isn't a race. It's a revelation. It's about becoming the kind of person who can hold the blessing you're about to receive, not just externally, but energetically, emotionally, spiritually. That's why the preparation season has felt so long, because the foundation you're building must be able to support the weight of your future. You're not just being given an opportunity, you're being built for it. You've felt moments of doubt. You've questioned whether it's ever going to happen for you. But even in those moments, something inside you refused to give up. That flicker of hope, that small voice that whispered, "Keep going," that was your higher self guiding you. And now, the rewards for your inner endurance are on their way, not because you begged for them, but because you aligned with them. You didn't let the waiting break you. You let it shape you. And because of that, you're ready for what's next. When everything changes in one moment, it won't feel like luck. It will feel like destiny. It will feel like the natural next step in a journey you've been walking all along. Others may look at you and wonder how it happened so fast, but you'll know the truth. You'll know it wasn't sudden at all. It was built moment by moment, decision by decision, soul shift by soul shift. You didn't just wait. You grew. You didn't just survive. You transformed. And now, it's time for everything to reflect that inner shift. You may not see it yet, but the current you're in is moving you forward with more power than you realize. Even when it feels like you're standing still, your spirit is evolving. Change often disguises itself as stillness, so you can strengthen from within. There is an energy working behind the veil, adjusting, coordinating, and setting things in place. The thing you're waiting for is not lost. It's being meticulously aligned with the exact moment it will have the greatest impact on your life. And when that moment arrives, it will seem as though it happened all at once. But you'll know it was forming long before it arrived. NTHAT one moment. When the call comes in, the message is received, or the right person steps forward, will shift your entire perception. It's not just about what happens externally. It's about the internal awareness that everything is finally syncing. And once that click happens, once you feel that divine alignment, you can never return to the old way of seeing things. It will become clear that every delay had purpose, that every painful chapter was just a stepping stone, and that the entire journey was leading to this point. You're not being asked to predict when it will happen. You're being asked to prepare your energy so that you are ready when it does. The shift doesn't require you to control the outer details. It only requires that you stay aligned, open, and willing. Don't get distracted by what others are doing. Their timeline isn't yours. Their moment will look different. Stay focused on your own inner readiness. The universe always delivers at the moment when your inner readiness meets outer opportunity. When everything changes in one moment, your mind may try to rationalize it. It may wonder why now, why this way, but your heart will know. Your heart will recognize the divine fingerprint on the timing, on the unfolding, on the way it all fits together in a way your intellect never could have calculated. That's why you've been called to trust more deeply than ever before. Trust not only in the outcome, but in the timing. Trust in the pauses, the nudges, and even the setbacks. They were all part of the redirection. You have to understand that divine change does not follow earthly rules. It doesn't adhere to deadlines, schedules, or logical plans. It dances to the rhythm of energy, resonance, and spiritual preparedness. That's why some people seem to bloom overnight after years of obscurity. That's why things that were stuck for ages suddenly move in an instant. It's not random, it's not chance, it's alignment. And the more you release the need to control the details, the more room you give for alignment to work its magic. Think about all the moments in your life when something shifted unexpectedly. A conversation that rerouted your thinking. A decision that opened a new direction. A relationship that entered or exited at just the right time. Those were moments, small on the surface, massive in impact. That's how this change will feel, like a spark that ignites something permanent. You might not see the full picture yet, but that spark is enough to light up the entire path once it starts to glow. NP reparation is everything. This moment of change that's approaching is sacred. It's not about scrambling to be ready at the last minute. It's about becoming the kind of person who is naturally ready. Someone who has done the work, who has healed the wounds, who has listened to their inner voice, and who is now in harmony with their higher path. That's what it means to be ready, not to be perfect, but to be real, grounded, and receptive. You're going to feel the energy shift before you see the external confirmation. That's how energy works. It moves subtly at first, gently altering your thoughts, your instincts, your emotions. You might find yourself dreaming more clearly, sensing opportunities before they come, or feeling detached from things you used to chase. These are all signs. These are whispers of the moment approaching. Don't dismiss them. The more attuned you are, the more smoothly the change will land. There will be a moment when the weight you've been carrying lifts, when the burden no longer feels like yours, when the struggle loses its grip on you. That moment will arrive with grace, not force. It won't be because you fought harder. It will be because you surrendered deeper. You let go of the version of you that needed to prove, push, or beg, and you rose into the version of you that simply received what was always meant to be yours. That is what transformation looks like. That is what real power feels like. You are not alone in this journey. Even if it feels like no one understands, even if the path seems quiet, you are being watched over. You are being guided. Your higher self is already in communication with what's coming. The connections are already forming. The people are already being guided toward you. The opportunities are already making their way to your field. You don't need to go out and find them. You need only to remain open and magnetized to what is aligned. Remember, your energy speaks before you do. It tells the universe whether you're ready, whether you believe, whether you are available for the blessing. So let your energy reflect that readiness. Let it say, I am open, I am willing, I am aligned. That simple energetic statement shifts everything. The universe responds not to desperation, but to resonance. And the clearer your energy, the faster the manifestation flows. There's a rhythm to everything, a pulse that runs through your life. You may have been in a season of stillness, but that rhythm is quickening, that pulse is building. It's leading you toward a crescendo, a moment of release, breakthrough, and clarity. All you have to do is stay in tune. Don't resist the tempo. Don't try to rush the beat. Just keep showing up, keep listening, and keep trusting that the song of your life is moving toward its most beautiful note yet. It's easy to believe that transformation must be earned through hardship, as though you must suffer endlessly before you're allowed to receive. But this belief is a leftover imprint from old patterns, patterns that say you are only worthy when you struggle, only valuable when you sacrifice. The truth is, change can be graceful. It can arrive gently, through love, through awareness, through a moment of release. You don't have to break to be reborn. You can simply awaken to the truth that the life you've been hoping for has already been orbiting your field, waiting for you to become a match for it. NTHE moment that changes everything may not look dramatic on the outside. It might not even make sense to others. But you will know it. You will feel it in the marrow of your bones. You'll feel the old cycle closing behind you without needing revenge, explanation, or applause. You'll feel yourself letting go of what you once held tightly. Not because you've given up, but because you've finally outgrown it. That's what change does. It pulls you into the next version of yourself without fanfare, without resistance, and without needing permission from anyone. You have always been capable of shifting your entire life with a single choice. And yet, we often delay that choice. We wait for validation, for signs, for guarantees. But sometimes, the shift begins when you decide, without needing proof, that it's time. Time to stop playing small. Time to stop waiting for the world to catch up to your vision. Time to take the leap, even if your knees shake. Time to finally trust yourself. That single decision is the gate. And once you step through it, everything begins to reorient around that clarity. When your inner frequency changes, the people, circumstances, and energies that once felt familiar may begin to fall away. This is not a loss. It's a clearing. The universe is making space for what's coming. Don't cling to what is leaving. Let it go with gratitude. Let it exit your life, knowing that its role in your story has served its purpose. The moment of change is often preceded by a period of release, where the outdated must dissolve to make room for the divine. You've been conditioned to believe that slow progress is the only kind of progress. That inching forward is better than standing still. But in reality, there are quantum leaps waiting to happen, shifts that can take you further in 1 week than you went in years. The key is being in the right alignment, the right state, and the right frequency. That doesn't come from over-efforting, it comes from inner congruence. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are in agreement, the energy around you accelerates. And yet, we fear sudden change. We fear it because we assume we can't handle it, but you can. You've already been shaped by so many invisible lessons. You've already cultivated resilience, wisdom, and strength. You are far more prepared than you give yourself credit for. The universe does not deliver transformation to the unprepared. It delivers it to those who, whether consciously or not, have been building the capacity to hold it. That moment will not overwhelm you. It will expand you. NTHE season you're in right now may feel uncertain, but that uncertainty is fertile ground. Nothing new grows in the stale soil of predictability. The discomfort you feel is your soul stretching. It's the ache of growth. It's the tension of leaving behind the known and stepping into the unknown. That's why it feels shaky. It's the space between the old and the new. But in that space, miracles bloom. In that in-between, possibilities form. Trust the space. Trust the unknown. Trust that the moment is already on its way. You're not late. You're not off track. You're not cursed or forgotten. You're simply in the midst of recalibration. The version of you who will receive this change is not the version of you who waited for it. You had to evolve. You had to let go of illusions. You had to discover strength in silence. You had to feel your power even when there was no external proof. That was all part of the preparation. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. Let go of timelines. Let go of the belief that you should have figured it out by now. That's just noise. The truth is, the most powerful shifts happen when you surrender your idea of how things are supposed to be. Let life surprise you. Let the moment sneak up on you and rearrange everything in your favor. Let yourself be open to outcomes better than you imagined. The most incredible moments are the ones you didn't see coming, but you were energetically prepared for them. It's okay if you don't have all the answers. You don't need them. You only need the next step, and often, the next step appears once you take a breath and trust. You may want the whole staircase lit before you move, but life doesn't work that way. Faith is moving while it's still dark, knowing the light will follow, and it always does. That's how you enter the moment of transformation, by acting in alignment before the reward shows up. Your power lies in your ability to stay anchored. When the world shifts, when things seem chaotic, when people project their fears onto you, you stay grounded. You stay connected to your truth. That's what allows the moment to find you. You're not chasing it in fear. You're allowing it in trust. And that's when it comes. Not with force, but with grace. Not with pressure, but with ease. Not with struggle, but with a sense of divine inevitability. NTHE life you're stepping into will feel lighter. It will feel like exhaling after holding your breath for years. It will feel like you've returned to something that was always yours, just hidden behind layers of fear, doubt, and hesitation. When that moment comes, it won't feel foreign. It will feel familiar. It will feel like home, like a long-awaited reunion with your higher self. And that's when you'll realize nothing was ever missing. It was all within you. waiting to be remembered. You've been sensing it for a while now, that something is building beneath the surface, that your life is on the edge of a shift that you can't quite define but deeply feel. It's not anxiety, it's not impatience, it's anticipation. It's the soul's recognition that the universe is rearranging itself around your energy. This is not just a passing feeling, it's an inner alert system lighting up. It's preparing you to be aware, present, and grounded for the moment when everything begins to unfold in real time. NTHAT change may not arrive through a grand event. It might not come with clear markers or obvious signs. Instead, it might show up in the form of peace. Peace after years of tension. Peace in your decisions. Peace in who you are becoming. This peace is the indicator that you've crossed over into a new energetic field. And once you're in that field, everything operates differently. You don't need to push or chase. Things begin to come to you because you've become a match for them. When everything changes in one moment, it's often because you stopped resisting what was already trying to enter your life. You stopped holding on to the familiar out of fear. You stopped settling for less out of habit. You finally decided that your well-being matters more than your fear of the unknown. And that decision opened a door. That willingness to step into the unfamiliar was the catalyst. The universe can work with that kind of courage. It multiplies it, elevates it, and responds to it with swift movement. Sometimes it's not about effort, it's about surrender. It's about releasing the illusion that you need to figure everything out alone. You are not alone. You are co-creating with a force much bigger than your worries, stronger than your doubts, and more generous than your expectations. This force has been waiting for you to relax your grip so it can finally show you what's possible. You don't need to know how. You only need to be ready to say yes when the moment arrives. You may feel like nothing is working because the things that used to give you comfort no longer do. You've outgrown them, and sometimes that's the most uncomfortable part of change. Not the new, but the detachment from the old. The loss of identity, roles, routines, and relationships that once defined you. But growth demands space, and space requires letting go. This is not abandonment, it's transformation. You're not losing yourself. You're shedding what you are no longer meant to carry. NTHE moment, when everything changes, might begin with something as simple as a new idea. An idea that lights up your spirit, an idea that won't leave you alone. That's not just a thought, it's a key. It's a spark from a future timeline reaching into your present, trying to lead you toward your next breakthrough. Don't ignore it. Don't brush it off because it doesn't make sense yet. Trust that ideas come to you because you are the one capable of bringing them to life. Your environment may not yet reflect the magnitude of your inner growth. That's okay. You don't need your surroundings to validate you. They will catch up. Your outer world is always a lagging indicator of your inner world. Focus on your energy, your beliefs, your healing, and your intentions. As you shift those, your reality will begin to reflect that change. First subtly, then all at once. That's how energetic transformation works. Quietly, and then loudly, you have a right to dream of more. You are not ungrateful for wanting better. Desire is not a flaw, it's a compass. It points to what your soul is here to experience. So don't dim your desires to make others comfortable. Don't shrink your vision to match what's familiar. You were not born to play small. You were born to evolve, to rise, and to become an example of what's possible when someone trusts the timing of their transformation. It's okay if others don't understand your path. It's okay if they question your decisions, your direction, your pace. This journey isn't meant for them. It's meant for you. And the moment that changes everything for you, might confuse others. They might say it came out of nowhere, but you'll know that it came from the deepest parts of you, the parts you nurtured in silence, the parts that believed when no one else did. That moment will be your reward for staying true to that unseen part of yourself. You are allowed to start over. You are allowed to change directions. You are allowed to walk away from what no longer feels right. The moment of change may require a leap, but it will also bring relief. The tension of staying where you don't belong is heavier than the risk of stepping into something new. Trust that. Trust that the discomfort you feel is guiding you, not punishing you. It's leading you toward the version of life that actually supports your highest good. There will be a moment when you'll look back and say, "That was it." That's when everything shifted. And in that moment, you'll feel deep appreciation for the waiting, for the growth, for the preparation. You'll realize that even the things you thought were delays were actually divine setups. Everything was timed perfectly. Everything served a purpose, and all of it was necessary to bring you to the very place your soul was always meant to arrive. When the moment comes, it may bring tears, not of sadness, but of recognition. You'll recognize yourself. You'll remember why you never gave up. You'll understand that all the pieces finally fit. The pain will make sense. The path will make sense. And most of all, your power will make sense, because you'll be standing in it, not reaching for it. You'll realize you've been powerful all along, but now the world sees it too. And as the energy around you continues to shift, you might find yourself becoming more selective, not out of ego, but out of clarity. You're no longer willing to entertain what drains you, distracts you, or distances you from your truth. This is not isolation, it's refinement. You are refining your life to match your new frequency. And when that moment of change comes, it will feel like everything around you was redesigned to meet your elevation. The people, the opportunities, the conversations, they'll feel lighter, more aligned, and deeply resonant. And this shift won't require you to fight for your place anymore. You've done that already. You've proven your strength. Now it's about allowing what is meant for you to arrive with ease, allowing yourself to be seen, heard, and honored without having to earn it through struggle. This is the essence of inner authority, knowing that your value doesn't fluctuate based on how much you do, but by how much you embody who you truly are. The more you settle into that truth, the more magnetic your energy becomes. Don't underestimate the power of your presence. You've walked through fire and still hold light. You've felt broken and still chose love. You've faced silence and still spoke truth. That kind of integrity doesn't go unnoticed by the universe. It's what calls in the moment that shifts everything. Life isn't just about what you do. It's about who you are when no one's watching. And you, in your quiet resilience, have become a vessel ready to receive. There is a version of you who already lives in the timeline you've been dreaming of. And that version is not far away. It's just a shift in vibration. You don't need to chase that version. You just need to allow it to emerge by removing the layers of doubt, fear, and old conditioning. As you do that, your thoughts become clearer, your heart opens wider, your intuition sharpens, and the universe responds to that openness by meeting you halfway. NTHE, greatest moments in life, often come after the greatest letting go. That surrender you've been resisting, the one that feels like a free fall, is actually a flight path. You're not losing control, you're entering flow. And in that flow, time stretches, ideas appear, people align, and clarity rushes in. This is the space where quantum leaps happen, not from stress or hustle, but from ease and alignment. Your leap won't be reckless, it will be rooted. And that's what makes all the difference. You are no longer the person who settles for halfway. You are no longer the one who waits to be chosen. You are the chooser now. You choose what honors your energy. You choose what feeds your peace. You choose where to place your time, your heart, your presence. And that empowered choosing is what opens doors that used to be locked. The universe trusts people who trust themselves. And as your self-trust deepens, so does your ability to receive without resistance. NTHE moment of change doesn't come when you finally feel ready. It comes when you finally feel worthy. Worthy of joy. Worthy of ease. Worthy of love that doesn't ask you to shrink. Worthy of spaces that celebrate, not tolerate, your authenticity. When you embody that worthiness, everything shifts. You stop trying to earn your place and start standing in it. You stop proving and start receiving. You stop hoping and start knowing. This is a sacred transition, and like all sacred things, it requires reverence. That doesn't mean perfection, it means presence. Stay present with what's unfolding. Don't rush to the finish line. Savor the becoming. Let each moment teach you. Let each emotion pass through you. Let each realization root deeper within you. The moment will arrive not as a surprise, but as a recognition. A knowing that this is what all the inner work was for. You're not just walking into a new chapter, you're walking into a new identity. One that is truer, freer, and more whole. And that identity is calling in relationships that feel safer, work that feels more aligned, and environments that feel more supportive. You'll begin to notice how what once triggered you no longer holds power, how what once confused you now makes sense. That's the effect of inner elevation. It reorganizes your external world without force, only frequency. Sometimes you don't even realize how much you've grown until life shows you. Until a situation arises that would have broken you once, but now you move through it with grace. Until someone tries to provoke the old you, but you respond with stillness. Until you're offered what you used to beg for, but now you decline it, knowing you deserve more. Those are the signs. Those are the reflections. And they're proof that you are ready for what's coming. And what's coming? It's already on the way. Not in some far-off abstract timeline, but in the now that you are stepping into. The moment isn't being created. It's being revealed, and your awareness is what allows you to witness it. It could come in the form of an unexpected opportunity, a message that shifts everything, a person who reflects your next level, a sudden wave of insight that connects all the dots. However it comes, it will come with clarity, and when it does, you'll feel a deep exhale from your soul. Let the world around you keep moving. You don't need to chase it. You are moving at the rhythm of your own destiny. And that rhythm is sacred. It's precise. It's aligned. You're not missing anything. You're not behind. You are exactly where you need to be for your moment to find you. Stay open. Stay grounded. Stay trusting. You're not waiting anymore. You're aligning. And soon you will arrive. There's something sacred about arriving, not just physically, but spiritually and emotionally. It's not marked by loud celebrations or visible trophies. Often, it's quieter than anyone expects. It's an inner shift, a knowing that the waiting is over, not because everything looks different yet, but because you feel different. And that inner shift is everything. It's the arrival of clarity, peace, and trust. You may not be able to show anyone what changed, but you'll walk differently, speak differently, move with a different energy. That's how you know you've stepped into your moment. NTHE beauty of this kind of transformation is that it doesn't ask for explanation. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth. You don't need to justify why things are suddenly flowing. The truth is, you've been walking through the fire quietly, and now you get to rise just as quietly, but powerfully. You no longer owe anyone a reason. You simply show up as you are, whole and ready. That is the sign of true growth. That is the vibration that shifts timelines. Your moment might begin on an ordinary day. You'll wake up, make your coffee, go through your usual routine. But something will feel different. Lighter, more open. You might get a message you weren't expecting, an opportunity you didn't chase, or a breakthrough in something you thought was stuck. And just like that, the energy will rearrange itself around your new frequency. That's how fast it happens. That's how divine orchestration moves when everything is finally aligned. People will look at you and say, "How did that happen?" And you'll smile. Not because you don't know, but because you do. You'll remember every late night, every inner battle, every time you chose faith over fear. You'll remember how long it took, how many times you wanted to quit. And most importantly, you'll remember how deeply you believed in something you couldn't yet see. That belief is what carried you here. That's what makes the moment so powerful. NTHE shift doesn't mean there will be no challenges. Life will still present you with opportunities to grow, but now you're approaching everything from a place of awareness, sovereignty, and peace. The way you respond to life is different, and that difference is your power. You've reconditioned yourself to no longer panic at change, but to welcome it. To no longer fight the unknown, but to trust it. That is the foundation of the new season you are walking into. You've let go of the version of yourself that had to be everything for everyone. That part of you that needed approval, applause, or reassurance has been set free. And now, what remains is the real you, unfiltered, intuitive, and open. The you who trusts the process without needing control. The you who recognizes that alignment is more important than speed. The you who knows that everything can and will change in a single moment of presence. And every time you chose growth over comfort, the universe took note. Every time you listened to your intuition instead of the noise, a new path opened. These weren't coincidences. These were affirmations that you were co-creating something meaningful with the unseen. And now, that unseen is about to become reality. What was once only imagined is stepping into form. What was once only sensed is now being seen. That's the miracle of divine timing. There is no more striving, no more proving. The time for that is done. Now is the time for receiving, for walking into rooms already belonging, for being met with open doors, for being received in spaces that honor the depth of who you are. This is your return to alignment, your reconnection with what has always been your destiny. You don't have to force it. You don't have to fight for it. You just have to allow it. And as you allow it, you'll notice how life begins to reflect your inner radiance. You'll notice how your peace becomes more magnetic than your effort ever was. You'll see people respond to your authenticity. You'll attract experiences that feel like home. You'll discover that the more true you are to yourself, the more the world bends to support that truth. This is the core of the moment. It's not just life-changing, it's you showing up so fully that life has no choice but to respond. There's a freedom in knowing you're no longer chasing anything. You are simply becoming. And in that becoming, you are calling in exactly what is meant for you. Your energy is your signal. Your stillness is your strength. Your trust is your compass. And that's all you need now. You don't have to hustle your way into the life you desire. You've already tuned into it, and the rest will unfold because you dared to believe it could. NTHE old chapter is behind you, not with bitterness, but with gratitude. It taught you, refined you, prepared you. But now, you are different. You are lighter, clearer, stronger. You are no longer carrying what doesn't belong. You are no longer questioning your worth. You're just walking forward with grace. And in one sacred moment, all of it will make sense. The path, the pain, the pauses, all of it. Because everything changes in one moment. Not just your reality, but your relationship to it. You don't just get the result, you get the revelation, the peace, the knowing. And once you arrive there, you'll never return to who you were before. You'll be rooted in something unshakable. And that is where the real change lives, not in what you gain, but in who you become. NSO, take this with you. It's already happening. It's already moving. And when it lands, it will be perfect. Not because it was easy, but because it was right. Stay open. Stay ready. Stay true. NTHE moment is coming.